A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. Of course her parents don't have a problem with me being black. She's past the wall. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
So you got drunk at a frat party, then fucked the football team? You're not a rape victim, sweetheart.
You're a slut. What's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of The Sharp Reality. You can find me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. You can also contact me through my website, donovansharp.com. Just click on the Contact tab to submit your questions, comments, show ideas, or personal stories you'd like to share. You can find all episodes of TSR right here on YouTube. You can find them on SoundCloud as well as iTunes. Bookmark the Amazon link on the sidebar of my homepage and do all your Amazon shopping through that link, because by doing so you'll be supporting the show at no cost to you. And of course, make sure you guys sign up for my weekly newsletter on donovansharp.com just above the Amazon affiliate link. Again, and I always reiterate this, we will never sell or give away your information to anyone for any reason, and we're definitely not going to blow up your inbox with a bunch of spam. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important principles in game in terms of red pill awareness, and that principle is, of course, that women lie. That's what this episode is going to be predicated on. Women lie, and they lie a lot. They do it willfully, they do it consistently, and a lot of times, regardless of how much experience you have with them, regardless of how much you've talked to them, regardless of any of that stuff, a lot of times it is very difficult to figure out when she's actually telling you the truth. And women lie about everything, guys. They lie about how many guys they've been fucked by. They lie about their families. They lie about their exes. As a matter of fact, I have yet to meet a woman who has ever said anything positive about her ex-husband. Every single time, without exception, okay, when a woman, whether it's a woman who's driving me around in Uber or a woman that I meet at the grocery store, whether or not I'm trying to fuck them, every time they talk about her ex-husband, he was an alcoholic, a drug addict, a gambling addict, he was abusive, he was unfaithful. It's always the worst case scenario. It's never a man who was a functioning alcoholic who drank every day, but at the same time held down a job and kept the bills paid. No, it's always, my husband drank himself into oblivion each and every day. He'd stumble out of the house to go fuck a bunch of prostitutes before hitting the poker tables and losing thousands of dollars from our savings account. Then he'd come back home, he'd do an 8-ball of cocaine, he'd shoot heroin before he beats me up, rapes me while calling me names, and I endured that for over a decade. Okay? It's always some extreme shit like that. The point is that they lie about everything. Now, one of the main things we teach in the manosphere, one of the main things we teach about game is not to believe anything a woman says. What I'm going to be talking about today, because we've done enough podcasts about the lies that women tell, why they tell them, etc. That's old news, that's not the news. That's nothing new. I'm going to talk about the things that a woman tells you that they believe themselves to be true, or that they fully intend on doing at the time, or that they fully intend on doing what they tell you they're going to do. Even in these cases, when a woman believes wholeheartedly what she is saying to herself, or you or others, 95% of the time, what comes out of their mouths turns out to be untrue. And again, I'm not talking about the things she knows that are untrue from the jump. These are things that turn out to be untrue for whatever reason. What I'm saying is that most of what a woman says, especially when they're talking about the future or talking about themselves in that regard, it turns out to be inaccurate. So the first example I'll give you are what I call declarations of intentions. In other words, to-do lists, goals, projects, etc. For example, a woman will have a to-do list. She'll say, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come back home. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to pay my bills. I'm going to fuck my boyfriend. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it every day for the next 5 years or whatever they tell themselves. Then, of course, they have a lot of they've got a lot of weekend plans. They make a lot of grandiose plans to be extremely productive on the weekends. But like I said earlier, most of the time when the time comes, it rarely happens. I'll use my girl as an example. I'm a man who loves women with tan lines. Tan lines to me are the sexiest and hottest things that a woman can do. One of the hottest things a woman can do for herself is get tan lines. I love tan lines. I mean, maybe it's a fetish. I like tan lines. My girl knows I like tan lines, so she now has tan lines. So what she'll do is, if she's feeling particularly happy with me, or if she wants to show me how much she loves me, or if she's extremely horny that week, she'll say, "Donovan, I'm gonna tan on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday." And I have to rein her in and say, "Okay, sweetheart, listen, you can tan on Monday and Wednesday, but let's take a break on the weekend, and when Friday comes, I'll let you know whether or not you should tan." She fully intends on tanning all 5 of those days, which, by the way, I mean, that's unhealthy for one's skin, which is really beside the point. But the fact of the matter is that when my girl says she's going to tan 5 days that week, what she'll end up doing really is she'll tan on Monday, she might skip Wednesday, then tan Thursday. Then, of course, she doesn't tan Friday because she never tans 2 consecutive days. And then on Saturday and Sunday, she either gets caught up with weekend chores or she just chills out and never gets around to it. Now, again, at the time, she fully intended on doing that for me. And she was motivated to do it at the time. But when the rubber meets the road, women almost never follow through with what they intend to do or what they say out loud. I actually read somewhere a while back that people get as much reward and satisfactions and endorphins from their brains from just saying it as actually doing it. It's their brain rewards them the same when they say it as when they actually do it. It feels, in other words, it feels just as good, if not better, to say or declare, "I'm going to move to Paris next year," or "I'm going to start a business." Our brain's reward center is activated by just saying you're going to do something. This doesn't necessarily happen with me because I know that if I say that I'm going to do something, I don't take for granted that it's going to get done. I mean, I clearly understand that, okay, saying that I'm gonna, get all the way down to 9% body fat, to me, listen, that's a great declaration, but in the back of my mind, I know, okay, I've got a shitload of miles to ride, I got a shitload of lifting to do, so my brain's reward center doesn't activate because I haven't accomplished it yet. Women, on the other hand, are different creatures in this regard. Maybe some men are like this, but women are especially susceptible to being rewarded by their brain centers or by their brain's reward centers for just declaring that they're going to do something or saying that they're going to make a change or saying that they're going to start a project. This is why women make these outlandish declarations all the time. You see it with your friends. You hear it in your. My own sisters do it. My mom does it. You see it on television. They'll say things like, "I'm gonna lose 50 pounds," or "I'm gonna buy a new car," or "I'm gonna visit Spain." They do this because it feels good, and at the time, again, they firmly believe that this is what they are going to do. So their brain's reward centers rewards them with the endorphins and the serotonin that comes with accomplishment. A lot of times women will say to their husbands or boyfriends, or actually guys, your girlfriends or wives might say things to you like, "Hey, you know what, Donovan, we should hike the Appalachian Trail next year," or "Let's go on the paleo diet." At that time, they fully intend on doing what they tell you they want to do. but they almost never do it. And the reason for that, I believe, is because their brains have already rewarded them for the accomplishment. Their brain, again, their brain activates that reward center, and it gives them all of those good feelings that comes with losing 50 pounds, or hiking the Appalachian Trail, or moving to Paris, so that when the time actually comes to get started on working toward that goal, or getting that project started, your brain, your women are not as motivated because they've already felt the reward for having done so without actually having done so. This again is a huge reason why 95% of the time women almost never follow through on what they say they're going to do. This particular doctrine or principle definitely applies when it comes to a woman's feelings. If there's one thing that we in the manosphere know beyond all else, is that the feelings of a woman are extraordinarily fickle. They are extraordinarily fleeting. They change like the weather. They change like the hours of the day. A woman's state is never ever static. Regardless of how stable the environment is around her, a woman's state of being is in a constant state of dynamic, or dynamia. I don't know if that's a word or not, but a woman's state is always changing. Her state is very dynamic. It is very, very rarely static. So, as far as love is concerned, a woman may love you. A woman can tell you, Donovan, I love you. Okay? And if a woman says that at that time, guys, she may very well really love you. She may be really and truly in love with you at that time. She may mean it. She's not lying to you. She's not manipulating you. She loves you, so she says, Donovan, I love you, and she means it with every fiber of her being. But understand that when a woman tells you that she loves you, feelings change. She may be hopelessly in love with you on Monday, but by Wednesday, her feelings have changed. Okay? And again, this is because, again, I'm gonna say this again. Women live their existence, their entire existence is always dynamic. It's always changing. It's changing mentally, physically, chemically. Women are never the same 2 days in a row. Okay, and this is why women need men. Men, we are metronomes. We are rock steady. Yeah, we may deviate here and there, but by and large, we are the same Monday through Sunday. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 365 days a year. In a 365-day period, a woman will go through 365 variations of 365 moods. This is how they are. So when a woman tells you she loves you, yeah, that feels great to have accomplished a woman's love, assuming that she's telling you the truth. But understand that just because she loves you today does not mean she'll love you tomorrow. Listen, she may truly love you on Monday. She may hate you on Tuesday. She may be even more in love with you on Wednesday. Thursday she might be indifferent. Friday she might like you a lot, and Saturday she'll love you again. And then Sunday she'll be fucking the mechanic. This is how fickle women are. It's a female hard drive thing. It is a chemical thing. Again, I'll say this again. Women live in a constant women The state of a woman is dynamic. The state of a woman is not static like men are. This is one of the many ways women are diametrically different from who we are as men. Get this through your thick skulls. Women are always changing, and their feelings are no different. As far as relationships and dating are concerned, we all know that what a woman says and what she means are always two different things. Now, of course, this doesn't just extend to relationships and dating. This relates to their entire beings. A woman will say one thing and do another. She'll mean one thing and say another. For example, I've pointed out in previous podcasts that women will describe themselves to other people as the man she's attracted to. So if you're out on a date with a woman or out on a meetup and you ask her, "Hey, what kind of woman are you?" or a woman might just tell you, a woman might just, just volunteer this information without you having asked her. She'll say things like, "I'm fiercely competitive, I am mentally strong, I am consistent, I am disciplined, I am financially responsible." And more often than not, you'll find that she is none of those things. What she has done is she has described to you what she finds attractive in a man. So, what a woman says and what a woman means are two different things, and most of the time they don't even realize it. They're telling you, they're describing themselves to you, not realizing that they're describing the man of their dreams or what have you. They're telling you what they're attracted to as women. Another way that this applies is when a woman says, "We need a break." Well, when she says she needs a break, what it means is that she's already fucking somebody else. I mean, again, that's obvious. We know that here. When a woman says, "I'm not looking for anything serious," after you've been fucking her for 6 months, she's looking for something serious and she's gauging your interest in a relationship with her. This is just what women do. Women will never come right out and say exactly what's on their mind or what they're feeling. I have reason to believe they're probably not even capable of doing that. I think when their brains tell them, "I'm hot," what comes out of their mouths is, "Oh my god, I'm sweating my ass off. I'm nauseous. I feel like I'm going to pass out." It's almost like they cannot bring themselves to describe what they are feeling at that very moment in 2 words or less. I firmly believe that women are incapable of that. Maybe that's a flaw, maybe that's not, but you need to wrap your minds around the fact that this is how women are. The point is, guys, is that you should never take a woman at her word, because there's always a lot to be read between the lines. And like I said earlier, women aren't even aware of the fact that they're telling you what's really going on in their heads without even realizing it. It's like they're fluent in Spanish, but they don't know they're fluent in Spanish, even though they're speaking Spanish. And I know that sounds weird and a little bit confusing, but this is how women are. This is how crazily wired their brains are. It's crazy. Always be aware that women are not as frank and as straightforward as we as men are. We as men, we're straightforward into the point. Going back to the example, if it's hot, men will say, "I'm hot." If it's cold, men will say, "I'm cold." Also, what a woman says when she tells you something, when she's telling you a story, whatever she says is almost never the entire story, guys. There are always multiple layers to what they say. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, "Oh, Jesus Christ, this is fucking complicated." No, 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 no. It's not complicated at all. And it's not complicated as long as you understand women. If you know how women work, if you know what their motivations are, if you know what makes them tick, you will obviously over time and with practice you'll easily be able to pick up on this stuff and not take anything they say as the gospel truth, or take for granted that they're going to do what they say they'll do, or that they're always going to feel, or that they're always feeling exactly what they tell you they're feeling. Now, there are some cases where where a woman has multiple ways of saying one thing. So for example, if a woman has just decided in her brain that she's just going to be an epic slut and fuck every guy she meets, she's not going to come right out and say, "I'm going to start sleeping around." No, women instead will say things like, "I need to find myself," or "I'm going to take care of me for a little while," or "I need some me time." We've all heard this kind of stuff. All of these things simply mean I'm going to start fucking dudes by the truckload, but they can never come right out and say it. All right? Now, there are obviously many other examples of this, and I may actually do a podcast on that. But by and large, guys, at the end of the day, the word of a woman is anything but reliable, and a lot of times, aside from when they're lying, when they're willfully lying to, when they're willfully being deceptive, a lot of the time when a woman says things, they don't realize that their word is not reliable at the time that they're telling you these things. This is just how women work. Women are not complicated creatures, but by the same token, it pays to understand certain things about them. And understanding that what comes out of a woman's mouth is quite literally just the tip of the iceberg. That's really how it is. That does it for this edition of TSR. If you liked this episode, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, do not forget to visit donovansharp.com anytime to listen to past episodes and check out additional content. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.